Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Brock Purdy's old roommate, Nick Zakelj, the interior offensive lineman, comes in number 73 on the 49ers Rush Countdown for 2024. And this was when Nick Zakelj was drafted, and it was late, 6th round. The 49ers came out and said like he was as close to a gold helmet guy that we possibly could have had in this draft. He wasn't a gold helmet, but he was the closest to it. And they were really, really high on him. Intelligence, off the charts, Fordham. I mean, the dude had it all. Had the perfect build, all those things. Just can't put it together. Yeah, they've moved him from guard, right guard, left guard, center. Got benched at center so fast last year in training camp. And the idea was this was going to be a developmental pick. He gets drafted in 2022, and they were going to move him inside. He played left tackle predominantly his whole career and, had the huge jump up in competition level from Fordham to the NFL. And so they wanted to take their time, and they thought center was the best place for him. So first year, they let him just learn guard. Then last year, they moved him to center. Couldn't do it. The fumbles, the snap exchange were so bad in training camp, they eventually went and signed Ben Barch to come in to be the emergency center because Nick Zakelj was so bad. So then they moved him to guard, and he couldn't get any snaps. And so I know that they like this guy, the makeup, the character, the intelligence, the intangibles, all those things. But at some point, something has to translate to the football field, and we just haven't seen it with Nick Zakelj. It really, really haven't. And it seems like with where he's coming in right now, and we'll go through the depth chart on the interior offensive line. I know there's problems with the 49ers offensive line, but depth isn't one of them. There are a lot of guys log-jammed as quote-unquote backups on the offensive line, and Nick Zakelj's not really even one of those. He has to fight his way just to get into the backup category, which he is not currently in. Now, as I said, Nick Zakelj's number 73 overall on our countdown this year. And this is hilarious to me because, again, we did 4 straight rankings. His highest ranking was 72. His lowest ranking was 74. All 4 of us, and we didn't see each other's rankings. And so we're all in agreement on exactly where he is. He comes in 73. Now, if we look at just how he's progressed, his first year, 2022 countdown, he was number 56 as a rookie, right? His second year, 2023, last year, 52. So saw a slight uptick. We thought he'd take that next step and be maybe one of the first or second ones off the bench on the interior offensive line. And instead, he's dropped 21 spots. By far his lowest ranking since we've done this countdown 3 straight years. Got to give credit to Josh, the man, helped with this episode. Also, Dave, Oscar, Zach helping out with everything that we got going on over here as well. Now, let's go through some measurables, right? He wears jersey number 63 for the 49ers, 6'5", 315. That is, if you could draw a center in a Kyle Shanahan scheme, that's exactly what you would draw. 6'5", 315. 32, 33-inch arms, not great. 24 years old, still young. Ran a 5.1 40, 1.73 tune, good. 1.7 10-yard split, good. 7.75 3-cone, all right. 25.5-inch vert, all right. 27 bench press reps, all right. Now, you plug all this into Mock Draftable. Listen to the names of the comps that come out. Ethan Posick, Billy Turner, Max Sharping. He's got the build. He's got the intelligence. But heading into his 3rd season, it's just like, man, we're not seeing it when the pads come on. Was the jump too big from Fordham to the NFL? 2 years' time, you got to see some type of fruit. Otherwise, the writing's on the wall for Nick Zakelj. Now, grew up in Cleveland, went to Brecksville and Broadview High School, and was a Bachelor of Finance and got a Master's in Business. Smart guy. Baseball analytics is kind of what he was into. Got accepted to Yale, chose to go to Fordham instead, in a large part because of fellow teammate Kyle Juszczyk. Which was interesting. The coaching staff that coached Kyle Juszczyk is now was in Fordham. Coach Conlon was the guy who coached both those guys. He was the assistant at Harvard, took over he became Fordham's head coach, and was there for Nick Zakelj. And Coach Conlon said this, quote, he's very similar to Kyle Juszczyk. He's one of the smartest football players I've ever been around. Nick and Kyle are very similar in how they approach practice, how they think about the game. Those guys just absorb it. It's very important to him. He'll take care of his body. He'll be a great asset, end quote. So you're talking about somebody that's coached 2 NFL players and sees a lot of similarities. Team captain, National Honor Society. I mean, good Lord. You can go through whatever you want. He did it, everything that he needed to do at the place he was at. Played left tackle and right tackle. Roommates, best friends with Brock Purdy. That helps. Definitely doesn't hurt. Just hasn't really come across. It really, really hasn't. Now, if we look at last year, okay, he was active for a lot of games. He was one of those extra offensive linemen that were just there. Got 18 special team snaps, almost all of them on extra point field goal. He had a 61 grade, and not great. I talked about how he got pulled from center in training camp, and they basically were like, dude, you're guard only this year. Now they're trying to back out at center, and we'll see what happens there. But in OTAs and mini camps, it seems like he's the fourth center because Brendel missed time with knee arthritis. Feliciano got snaps there with the first team, but he had a lot of time out. Then Ben Barch stepped in for the starting one when Feliciano and Brendel were out, and Zakelj was behind him. So right now, it seems like he's the fourth center, and we'll talk about the guard and kind of where he fits in that. Now, in preseason play last year, he got some snaps at guard, didn't look good. Had a 61.6 overall grade, 56.1 pass blocking. Pass blocking seems to be his issue. He can run block. Pass blocking, it's a concern. This might be the last hurrah for him. Again, remember, 6th-round pick in the 2022 draft. Had 35 total snaps in 2022. He had 18 total snaps last year in 2023, and he ended up tearing his bicep in week 10. It was an extra point. He just got blown up, man. He got hit hard, tore his bicep, but he's good back now. And, hats off to him for getting, back healthy and getting out there to where he's getting reps because he needs them bad, super bad. Now, if we look at just his contract, he's still on his rookie deal, 4-year, $3.85 million. He's, so far in his career, earned $1.5 million. And as, we've done this countdown, we always do kind of career earnings because I think it tells a story on the back end of these rosters. These guys not making a lot of money. But the rookie deal, being drafted and making the team, this dude's got $1.5 million. Taylor Hawkins, who we just talked about, he's been on the team longer than Nick Zakelj, but literally a third of the money. Why? Because he wasn't drafted. That's the difference. Both played in about the same amount of games, but you get that rookie contract, you get some guaranteed money. If you're an undrafted free agent and not a prized one, you're kind of screwed there. Now, let's look at the interior offensive line. Let's divorce center, guard, and let's just look at bodies, straight numbers. Because usually the 49ers keep 4 to 5 interior offensive linemen on the initial 53-man roster, right? So who are the locks? Aaron Banks, he's a lock. Jake Brendel, he's a lock. John Feliciano, I think he's their second best offensive lineman next to Trent Williams. He's a lock. Dominic Puni, 3rd-round draft pick, he's a lock. That's 4. So you might just rock those guys, but I think the 49ers will keep 5. But you look at this next bunch. Ben Barch plays everywhere, and the 49ers love him. They absolutely love that dude. Spencer Burford, that dude, he's got a lot of experience under his belt. Draft pick, yeah, obviously had the worst Super Bowl offensive lineman could ever have, but that doesn't take away the upside and all those things. And so Burford, I'm taking him over all those guys. And then you draft Jared Kingston in the 6th round this year. Like, those 3 guys are fighting for one spot. Then you get to the next tier, and this is where Nick Zakelj goes. You got Nick Zakelj, Drake Nugent, undrafted free agent, Bryson Mays, undrafted free agent. Like, those guys, they're fighting for a spot that might not even be on the practice squad. So to say that Nick Zakelj has an uphill climb this year, that is an understatement. And I don't even think he'd be on the practice squad. If you cut him, my assumption is he'll probably go to Miami or Houston or the Jets, one of the Shanahan offsprings that could kind of take over because see what they can get out of him. I like Nick Zakelj. I was so high on him after he was drafted. It just hasn't happened yet. Can Nick Zakelj finally take that jump and prove he could be the number 3 center or a number 2 guard? We haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to be watching number 63 in uniform. He's number 73 on this countdown, and for us, we'll just keep counting him down.